we bring out next? Let's bring up one of the cast, Larry Rickard. Next, let's have Simon Farnaby. After Howe-Douglas. And Jim Howick. I'm not sure how he got top billing, but he has today, Matt Bainton. Thank you very much all of you for being here, especially as I know that you've got lots of other stuff you're working on at the moment, and Sunday is your kind of true day of rest, and you're here sharing with us today, so thank you very much. Pleasure. Just to sort of start, I'm going to start with Caroline. So, not that long ago, probably about a year and a bit ago, we were here on this very stage celebrating season 4, and obviously since then, the whole of season 5 has been filmed, and you've been kind of working on it. Can you tell us a little bit about that process in terms of, say like a year ago, whatever, season 4 is in the can and you're kind of premiering it. What kind of happens in the kind of in that kind of year between then and putting this next season out?
From the beginning of the year, so from while we're still putting the show together, Greg Jenner, who is here somewhere, I think.
Is Greg here?
Hello.
Mr. History himself, Greg Jenner. I think Greg's actually standing in the way as well. Yeah. I don't know they were applauding them.
Greg is reading all sorts of books and websites and trying to find the facts for the next series. And we are having writers' meetings. So we have weekly writers' meetings. Each week is on the topic, so the Romans or the Victorians or whatever. And Greg comes up with all sorts of facts for that. And all the writers come into a room and eat loads of biscuits.
Yeah. And we abuse your hospitality.
Abuse our hospitality. And we discuss ideas for sketches for the new series. And then that process goes on. So Greg's probably done about three or 4 months of research, and then we do 3 or 4 months of writing the actual material, and then we do all our prep in August. So we do all the finding locations, and everybody comes on board and working out costumes and who's going to do what, recording songs, sending the music, sending the words off to Richie, who sends the music back, and recording the vocals for that. And then in September and October we film it. So we film on location for 4 weeks, and then in the studio for 4 weeks, and then the whole process starts again. Then we start editing again, and we've just finished. We're just putting the very final finishing touches to all the bits now. So it takes a year of production and probably another 3 or 4 months of Greg's time to make a series.
So it's a massive commitment actually,
It's a massive
in that respect. And how many episodes is it per series?
We do 12 original sketch shows, 1 song special, and then we normally do a couple of other specials, which are a mixture of new material and previously seen material.
And you just drop those specials in a particular time
Yeah,
of the
so
year?
we've done a Christmas one before, and we did one for Halloween, we did a Stupid Death special, and what was the other one we did last year? We did... No, that was this year.
Oh, that was, yeah.
I can't remember.
Valentine's Day, wasn't it?
That was this year.
Jim's very tired.
No, this year we've done the First World War and a Valentine's sort of romance specials, because we've done it for next year for the centenary of start of World War I. We've done a special. Yeah.
And Larry, I know that you write on the show. You're part of the writing team as well as performing. When you're actually writing it, do you have any kind of say in terms of who plays what character? I mean, can you say, I don't know, Simon's really annoyed this week, let's have a clue for Simon's character, or how does that work? Do you actually know who you're writing for, what you're doing?
Well, as a rule, no. Every now and then if I write something and I really like it, then I might barrack Caroline and go, can I play that one? To which she normally says, the rule has normally been, if there's a character who at some point gets covered in something unsanitary, normally when the casting comes around, it turns out I've been given that role.
He's taken to writing a man who looks nothing like Larry Rickard, comes in covered in paint.
So no, normally, the great joy of it is always, you write something, we try not to keep anyone in mind, apart from recurring characters, obviously. So, if I'm writing it's a Stupid Death, then chances are Simon will do it if he's not busy. But otherwise I try not to do that. And one of the great joys of it is that you write something, you've no idea who's going to play it. A lot of the time, because of the schedule on set, we don't get to see all of the sketches. We'll only see the ones that we're in because we'll be in costume or makeup. And so a lot of the times it will only be, today will be the first time that I'll see a sketch that I've written and see who played the part and what they did with it. And that's one of the most fun bits, is, you know, seeing what someone's done with that script and the ad-libs they put in, which they make it far funnier, and then I can go, yeah, I wrote that.
And does it, I mean, I guess for both of you, and probably even Greg, who I know isn't here, but we can chat, you know, does it get more difficult every year to try and find sort of, you know, sort of funny situations, the historical facts, to try and think about how you can kind of get 12 episodes out of different situations?
Yes, I mean, Greg's job has become more and more difficult as time has gone on, because we started with the books, and the books, Terry had already chosen all the best facts in history and put them in his book, so once we'd used all those up and we'd used up, hey, the Romans all go to the loo together, which is funny, and it's, you just need to kind of put a load of people in a room pretending to go to the loo, and that's automatically funny. We're now sort of trying to go, well, we should do the fact that Gutenberg invented the printing press, so the Bible could be mass produced. How are we going to make that funny? So it gets more and more difficult.
And does it get more difficult to try and introduce the sort of more, say, scatological kind of elements in terms of, you know, because there is
that's
still,
essentially Greg's job, is to look for poo facts.
I'm not sure whether this episode or the second episode, the one with the Stuarts and the poo.
Yeah, that was this episode, and that's based on a bit of something that, Greg, you found, piece of evidence showing that they turned up at a house in Oxford after Charles II had been there and found human excrement everywhere, so we sort of extrapolated from that.
Lovely. And we talked last year, I'm going to sort of bring everybody else into them now, about the fact that, you know, I mean, obviously I know one of the more interesting things for the audience is the fact that there is this kind of, sort of, you know, wee and poo and vomit and stuff there, and I know it was like Mars bars and soup and stuff, but I mean, after a while there must be a point where it's like, oh, is it really another one of those? Another, I mean, sort of how do you feel when you're kind of reading the script that you've got the part with the vomit in it, or?
Well, I get away with it, I think. I don't think I've ever had to do it. Pretend. I've had to pretend to poo. A wee. And
You've done it now, you're going to get all of those parts.
A wee and poo came out, or something like that.
That's true.
This is your performance we're talking
In the
about.
church.
Yeah.
But the vomit thing I've got away with, which is good because I'm not good with vomit.
No.
You don't often see, I don't think you often see us actually vomit. It's usually off-screen sort of. It's usually the
Jim
sound
has
effect.
a whole spectrum
Been a lot of practice.
vomit. He hasn't exhausted them, so he's keen for any opportunity.
It's all about the first noise. It's all about the strain. You need the. Yeah, I'm alright. Can you get me a taxi?
As Larry said before, if he writes that someone gets pooed on, then he wrote it, so he has to do it. That's the rule. I haven't been pooed on since series 1, I don't think.
No, you've been pooed on by birds.
In London Dungeon.
When you started your career, did you really believe that you'd be here at the British Film Institute talking about poo?
Yes, I
My
knew
dream.
it. Yeah, that was my dream.
Well, half of that was my dream.
And when the actual kind of scripts are around, are they actually all earmarked already in terms of, I mean, do you cast it amongst yourselves, or is it cast and then passed over
I
to you?
think
How does
it's
that all work?
logistics, really, isn't it? More
Yeah,
than
a lot of it's
because we could probably all play, apart from Stupid Deaths and King Charles II, we could all play, I think,
Queen
every other. And Queen Elizabeth. The Shanty Man. And Bob Hale. There's a lot. Alright. We get it! Yeah, but with all the other characters, I think we can all generally play them, apart from the women. But yeah, I think it's more to do with who's in the chair, in the makeup chair at what point, and yeah, I guess.
Sometimes, like for this series, the song that's in episode 2, Jim and Matt asked if they could do those particular people, and so we started the day with, well, they're playing them, so we cast around that. Sometimes it's because there's an existing character in a day, and sometimes it's because you go, well, Jim's the obvious person for that, let's cast somebody else. And the nice thing about the cast is that they can all play all different things, and sometimes you get something different out of casting what feels like it's slightly against type. And you know, you're always trying to keep it feeling fresh and not just do the same things all the time. So the other thing is to sort of go, well, we'll give that a go.
And where bearing in mind you're producing 12 episodes and you're up to 5 series now, and obviously the show's had a massive amount of attention, it's been great audiences, it's won like BAFTAs and all sorts of other awards. Is there a real difficulty in trying to keep that that threshold of writing? I mean, are there times where you're actually to the point of performing a sketch, it just doesn't feel like it's working, you abandon it, or by that stage has it really been tried and tested?
There's two sides of it. One is that it becomes more difficult, and I'd say about 50% of the sketches that were written in first draft this time probably went in the bin because you're working with much thinner facts, much less obvious information, so it's much more difficult to find something in it, and also trying to do something you haven't done before. And we've produced 35 hours of this now, so it's quite hard to find ways of doing it that you haven't done it before. But on the other hand, we're getting much better at it. We know what works and we know what doesn't work. And the other great thing about it is that when you get it on set, if something isn't quite working, when we do the read-throughs and do the rehearsal stages, the cast will say, this isn't really working, or they'll come up with something, or somebody will go and think of something else. And we're all quite good at being able to say, I don't like the end of this sketch, and the writers are very good at saying, okay, well I'll try and think of something else, or the cast will come up with something, and often, you're writing something at such great speed that there are inevitably things that don't quite work as well.
So it is a true ensemble, and so you all can contribute to it and change it. And
Well, they try.
Yeah, and then when the camera's rolling, we just do it anyway.
I suppose you've got it. If you do it when the camera's rolling, I guess you've got it halfway there on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of not shouting cut for quite a long time just to say what they do.
Yeah.
We sort of suggest things to each other. I guess also you tend to sort of raise your game when you spot one of the others behind a monitor because they've finished makeup and they're waiting for their sketch. You sort of just lift it up a bit to try and sort of,
it's a showing off
see,
competition.
am I making Larry laugh? Okay, then I'm doing well. And it just, that always is a little boost, I think.
And how far in advance do you get the script? And obviously you have to learn the script and work with it.
We read all of the scripts, but we film in 2 blocks. We film in location block, which is 4 weeks, and then we do 4 weeks in the studio. So we read the location blocks in 3 days. But you quickly forget about a lot of the sketches, and you're reminded of them really a couple of days before, I'd say.
And casting can change.
Yeah,
a day before.
It's not a lot of time, really.
So literally, on the day itself, you are just trying to remember that day's sort of lines, and and then they might have changed actually, and that's a real. I mean, I know that's active. That's a real art, though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, not one that any of us have perfected terribly.
No.
Not Martha's very good. Martha sort of shows us up.
I'm the worst. It's official. Yeah.
Carol, it's an expensive show to make. I know, obviously, it's shot in HD, and I mean, it looks amazing on the big screen, but is it very expensive?
It's made on a children's budget. I mean, it probably costs half of what any other sketch show costs on television. It is in TV terms very cheap, but it's probably quite expensive for CBBC in the sense that they're very good about giving us what we need for it, although we don't ask for much. I mean, it's not as expensive as it looks. A lot of that's down to platform post-production who put hours into it that we don't pay for, basically, and make it look incredible because they love it. So we're very lucky.
It's true of every single department.
It is true of every single department, yeah.
We all do it because we love it.
Nobody makes millions of pounds. This kid the other day came to me and went, "You in Horrible Histories?" And I went, "Where's your bodyguard?" I don't think you've seen our wages. What a dog. I found the dog in the ditch. It's my protection.
Well, you just touched on the fact that you've been recognised through the show. I mean, obviously a lot of the time you're in disguise and you're not kind of recognisable, but do a lot of people approach you and associate you with the show now?
Yeah.
We can't disguise ourselves because of, we're detectable in any guise with a beard, with long hair.
You have to play some kind of psychological games. I was in Tottenham Court Road the other day, and someone came over and went, "Are you in Horrible Histories?" And I went, "No, he's got a beard." And they went,
Yeah, children, they're amazing. amazing detectives who really can spot you like a mile away.
I don't know what gives you away, son.
They only wear hats. Yeah, no, amazing powers of
In terms of what is kind of classed as being history, what is the kind of the cut-off point? I know that you've got like 60s and stuff as being referenced. I mean, at what point do you sort of, or can you go up to?
Yeah, well, when you realise that your youth is history to most children, it's quite frightening. We decided to do a bit of 20th century this year just because it opened it up a bit. It allowed us to do, you know, a few stories that a few historical characters that we thought kids should know about that we weren't able to do before. But it is really hard because it doesn't feel like history, and also those people some of those people are still alive or not long dead, and you know, it's much more difficult to make jokes about things that are current. So, but we wanted to do a few key. We thought landing on the moon was important. We thought Rosa Parks was important. We thought, you know, civil rights movement was important. So we tried to do a few things. There aren't very many, but that's. I mean, the books go up to World War II, and then there is a 20th century book. So we sort of take our lead from the brand, really.
And is there anything that, in the development stage or sort of further forward, you kind of are feeling uncomfortable and you kind of would just take out on sort of grounds of taste, or might the BBC see it and say, well, actually, we're a bit concerned about this?
Yeah, we're in constant dialogue about the material we're doing, what we're saying, whether when we've shot something, whether we've shot it in the right way. Trying to get that balance between being truthful and not alarming anybody and not upsetting anybody is really important. And obviously we're trying to make it historically accurate all the time, so constantly going back to Greg and checking things and checking the signs we've got. And yeah, I mean, it's the factual layer of it makes it a lot more difficult than most sketch shows, because it has to be true, because people write us letters and tell us if we get it wrong.
Oh yeah.
It's really annoying.
Does it really matter?
And in terms of, obviously, you've talked about the fact that you've created 35 hours of material, and obviously you say this is season 5 now. In terms of the future of the show, where does it go from here? Is there a future beyond season 5?
I hope there's a future for us in some form, but we're not going to do any more of these for now. It's and it is, as I say, it's incredibly hard, and it takes up an awful lot of time. And I think our greatest fear is that the quality will ever slip. And I think to leave 5 series that feel really strong is the thing that we want to do. And I think that if we, you know, we all love working together and would love to work together again. And that's not to say that there won't be any more horrible histories of some sort in the future, but this particular way of doing it, this and the specials next year. I mean, you know, there may be more specials, there may be more, who knows, but we're not going to shoot another 12 original sketch shows.
So in terms of what people can expect now, is there's going to be the new series starting soon. I don't know if it's dated yet, but that's
May
Yeah,
27th.
May 27th.
May 27th. There'll be 12 episodes then,
Yeah.
and then there are a
And
couple of
some special.
specials which could
Some
come on next
spe-
year, or?
And then there's the other specials are next year, because the World War I special is for the centenary of the outbreak of World War I.
Tears over the end of the panel here, I'm afraid. It's a very emotional time.
There have been quite a lot of tears.
Yeah, our final day tends to be on every shoot is stupid deaths. So it's always, you know, it's the last day of the shoot. It's always a little.
Yeah, it's really funny.
This year.
Simon turns up to the party all black and white. That's the only reason we do it.
And in terms of the 6 of you as I say 6, obviously Ben could be bothered to be here today.
He's moved
Well,
on.
I'm really glad that he wasn't here, because it meant I could sit there and unashamedly laugh at the line in that episode where Ben Wilborn goes, "I'm not posh."
In terms of the 6 of you as a sort of an ensemble again, and obviously we won't talk too much about this as like a rival channel, but there is a, you know, there is a future as far as 6 of you are concerned, and a different guys on a different channel at some point, isn't there?
Yeah. I think, you know, all 6 of us, we've, you know, it was that rare thing that as soon as we came together, we all really liked working together, and we all got along, which is rare enough in and of itself.
You wouldn't guess that as a group.
No, I know.
Yelling and shouting and actually physically, you know, assaulting each other in a group.
Yeah, so I think once we knew that we weren't going to be doing any more of this, we wanted to find a way that we could all keep coming to work together. Because I think otherwise
We
it
have
would
to be together
something.
once a year
Yeah.
for at least 6 weeks in some sort of ridiculous costumes.
And that's happening right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're actually working on this new project, which right in a way it's even better to have you here. I mean, fantastic to have you here now, because you're working 6 days a week on your new show, and you're here on your day off. So.
Yeah.
So I was completely green yesterday.
You were,
still
sorry?
see that I was completely
It was
green
painted
yesterday.
green.
Yeah,
Wow.
so you can still see bits of it.
Vomiting.
Vomiting, yeah.
Some things never
Any
change.
excuse.
Simon's come back from his honeymoon to be with us.
And
It's a good thing.
And Jim, well, not for the audience, clearly.
tickets to the football as well.
I'm taken.
Yeah, tickets to the football.
Yeah, me and my Newcastle are playing at QPR, which is I can walk to the ground from my house, but I chose to come here and see you.
Jim is here, and it's
I
Jim's
couldn't get a
birthday.
ticket actually.
It's Jim's birthday on Tuesday.
It is, yeah. 25.
48 birthday, yeah. So enough about that. What we're going to do is see whether anybody has any questions. You want to put your hand up, and there are some mics around. So there's a lady on the aisle on the side there, and then over on this side on the very, very, very back row corner, because you always get missed out. So just right in the right dark in the very, very corner there. Okay, yeah.
How do you make the poo and the fake blood and stuff like that?
How do you make it?
As the expert on poo, most of the stuff that certainly any of the stuff that's got into my mouth is made largely from chocolate. I'm delighted.
Yeah, the runny poo is made from the same stuff you make gunge from, and other poo is made out of Mars bars.
It's delicious.
There have been any pranks on set where it's been kind of, you know.
The director delights in taking big bites out of the Mars bar poos in front of children.
Only we had some with us now. Okay, right, the far corner. Yeah.
What's your favourite sketch you've ever done?
What your favourite sketch you've ever done?
My favourite was in series 2, I think, and it was called The Caveman Art Show. Was that series 1?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Series 1, and he was Zach, and I was Grant, and we had a little section in it where we stepped completely out of character because I'd insulted his nan.
Do you mind? That's my nan. It's my nan at the end of the day.
It just, that sort of sums up the experience of making Horrible Histories for me. It was a funny sketch, and we got a bit carried away and did a little thing, and instead of being told off, it was celebrated and included, and then those kind of characters got rewritten then for the next series with the same little moment and the same relationship, which was just so gratifying.
I love it. Okay, anybody else? Any other sketches you want to throw in that you've enjoyed?
Any of my Queen Elizabeth sketches I love. There's one in particular, this series, where Jim comes in and passes wind, which was a funny one to do. But yeah, anything that involves Queen Elizabeth I love.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to pick quite random ones. I suppose, Caligula, I enjoyed the first series because it was the first time I realised that, like, I thought I was just acting really ridiculously and stupidly.
You were?
Well, I was. I thought I was doing so. I thought this is too much.
This isn't Macbeth, I'm in the wrong studio.
I thought this was Shakespeare. And the director Steve went, "No, mate, you can be." I went, "Am I being a bit too mad?" He went, "You can be as mad as you like, mate." I thought, this is the job for me. So that sticks in the mind. And then Stupid Deaths and any ones where we all.
Yeah, when we're all together. When we're all together.
I think my favourite probably would be actually that Ugg and the Rump one. I remember watching it in the really early days of Series 1. We're still kind of getting our head around how it's going to work and the style of it. And watching that as it was being shot and going, oh, okay. And that's when I kind of, it was. But yeah, the ones we were all together, I remember the one we were doing the town planning of the cave.
Oh, yeah.
Show. I remember the opening of that, I think we were discussing Def Leppard.
Yeah.
talking about the drummer.
They won't.
How amazing he is because he's only got one arm. I don't know if you know.
We're going to try and, we've got so many questions, we're going to try and canter through them. So, got other questions about that?
As Series 3 was a while ago, I was just wondering if you still remember the Kings and Queens since 1066? And if you do, could you give us a little sing-song?
If you join in.
Lovely sing-along.
Alright, ready?
I never knew it in the first place.
Well, this is, I may as well say, just now for the record, that whenever Simon is singing, not whenever, but some of the time,
Most.
he's just doing this.
Which I will now demonstrate.
Ready? So, William, Henry, Stephen, Henry, Richard, John. Henry, Rich, 2 and 3 more Henrys join our song. Edward, Rich the 3rd, Henry, Ed again. Mary 1, good Queen Bess, Jimmy, Charles, and then Jim, Will, Mary, Anna, Gloria, George, Will, Victoria. Edward, George, 6, and Queen Liz 2 completes the mix.
Simon is never happening through Queen Liz 2.
Very good. Okay, I've got some impression about that.
My favourite song is the Dick Turpin song. Please, can you sing it?
I can see where this one's going.
Do the heart.
I don't remember it.
The heart.
The truth is, I don't remember that. It's not one of those earwormy ones like some of. So
Sorry about
it's gone out of my
Straight
head.
down here.
Thank you.
Down here.
What are your most embarrassing or least favourite costumes that you had to wear?
Like a thong, I think.
Yeah. At the beginning of every series, you go, right, there's a certain amount of this series where I'm basically going to be in pants. And so you go, right, and obviously, particularly when I've been writing on it, basically you sit at a desk for 4 months, growing 7 3. You go, oh God, now, and then next week it's going to start, and I'm going to be in pants. And then it doesn't happen at all. And this last series, it didn't happen at all. And I was so thankful. And on my final day, I walked into the dressing room. There's literally a coat hanger with a pair of pants.
I think there's not embarrassing, but William the Conqueror, I seem to play him about 20 times in the last series. But it's really heavy and really hot. But that is it's really hot. But
want to cause it?
personal question. Oh, I see, because you do all the time. Yeah. No, but it's because they want it to be quite accurate. And I go, do I have to have this layer of chainmail that no one can see? They go, yes, you do. Because we have to be historically accurate.
The weather always tends to stuff us, really. When we're wearing layers and armour and stuff, it will be beautiful, glorious sunshine. And when we're in
That beach patrol scare.
yeah, exactly. Any time it's supposed to be sunny and beautiful, ancient Egypt is inevitably just a freezing, drizzly day, and you're pretending to be hot.
We filmed that actually, the Beach Patrol sketch we filmed at Canvas Sands, and that morning there was a biblical sandstorm. And it was like arriving on Mars.
The door off a Land Rover.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, the sea that Ben is in that's not post production.
No. And the tide was out, so we had to go miles. We thought we might use it.
Okay.
Slightly serious question here. You're kind of representing history for a generation of British young people, and I wonder if ever that feels a bit burdensome in terms of responsibility. Question for Caroline, really. Are you conscious of representation of women in history, of black history? Do you sit down and say, right, we need to make sure Martha's got a really strong character? How do you go about doing that sort of thing?
There are lots of very strong women in history, which is great. So yes, we're always looking for things for Martha's play. We're always the Black History thing. That's why we went to 20th century. We wanted to do in Rosa Parks, something quite positive. We have to balance finding the funny stories with finding the important things to say. And so yes, we're very aware of it. Greg and I have lots of conversations about what we should be covering, and then if there's anything funny in it, and yeah, and also, you know, as I say, people do write in and complain, and so we have to be careful that we are confident about what we're doing. So
I think it's a great thing that the show has managed to include celebratory history, because as Caroline says, it's harder to be funny when you're just going, look at this person, weren't they amazing? But credit to the writers and to Caroline, we've managed to do that, and I think that Rosa Parks song is such it's the perfect example of that it's completely positive, but it's also funny.
Yeah, Dave Cohen
makes me cry every time I see it.
And Dave Cohen,
it's amazing.
Dave Cohen wrote a song
Oh,
which
you've
has
done it now.
Dave Cohen wrote a song, and we talked about what joke we can get out of it, and we just said, you know, the thing that seemed funny was that there was this enormous, you know, this incredibly important thing in history started from sitting on a bus, not getting off the bus, and so he made that into the joke. And with songs you can do that. You can make jokes about things that aren't necessarily the historical fact isn't necessarily funny.
We're sorry to anyone who was distracted during that episode by a constant commentary of whether or not Daddy was on the screen. And Stupid Death, who he's obsessed with.
We're running out of time, and I know Dr. Campbell, so we've only got probably a couple more, but yeah, one here.
Where's your favourite location for filming?
Favourite location for filming? Just a couple of them.
That castle's great, isn't it? We filmed a castle over in Maidstone, which is just like a actual castle.
Hampton Court was amazing. We went there and we did the Charles II song there, and we couldn't quite believe that they would let us dance on the tables.
I don't think they could quite believe that we were dancing on the tables.
I don't think they let us do that.
Yeah, they thought it was funny.
Genuinely priceless tapestries on the wall, and I'm throwing grapes around. Yeah.
Okay, and then there's a question left in the middle of that, yep.
How many times do you go wrong?
Never go wrong, never.
I don't think is there ever going to take us entirely right?
No. No, I always go wrong.
Okay, and you've been waiting for such a long time, I feel like I really should let you have a question. Yep.
What's it like doing the sketches?
What is it like doing the sketches?
At 10 to 7, before we wrap, it can be a bit of a rush. But all in all, it's lots of fun.
How early do you have to get there? Did you have to get there really early in the morning?
Yeah, about 6:30.
Half six, yeah.
In the morning?
Yeah.
You know that time
And then
exists?
the filming starts at 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and often we're all over, you know, we're at Black Park or Pinewood or various locations. So, you know, we have to be
You do have to work for what you do.
Oh yeah.
You have to work. That's the trade-off of doing a job that so many people want to do and that is fun, is that you do actually have to work.
Okay, final two questions. One question there, and then you can choose somebody from wherever you think.
What's your favourite Savage song?
Ooh.
I think mine is George IV. That's,
Some people agree with you. A couple of people
Mine's
agree with
actually
you.
Dick Turpin. I think that's seriously. I love it. Yeah.
I think you're about to see mine. I've got a new favourite song from this series.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard to say.
Oh yeah. I just remembered it.
Simon's got an amazing song.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
So we're up to.
There's some good new songs in the series.
Really.
I've got a song,
great song,
a Dizzy Rascal. But it's Crassus, a Roman emperor who just had loads of money. And,
I really loved the Aztec priests, because I just thought, I kind of can't believe we've just done that. That's the most wrong bit of television I've ever
the monks, I love the monks.
Monks? What, the funky monks?
No, the monkeys. What was that one?
The thinkers, yeah.
And the final question of the day goes to somebody with a microphone over there.
Please can I ask each one of the cast what was their favourite What was their favourite character that they've played?
Favourite character you played? Again.
I guess Charles II, because it turned into a recurring thing and people were so fond of him. Although, going back to that question before, I feel like we've made him too nice a guy. Because he wasn't all nice, he did some awful things, and we didn't really cover that. But that's a good example. For those who think the BBC is liberal lefty, we presented Charles II as a party animal. You know, so that's quite a good, I suppose that's quite a good balance for that liberal lefty image.
Mine was Robert of Artois, who never came back, but lives forever.
Literally, there's one fact about
Yeah.
the whole of history.
Actual historical character.
Yeah.
Mine is definitely Queen Elizabeth, because I played her on the very first day of the first series, the Tudor song with Ben as King Henry. Yeah, that's definitely my favourite character.
It's the one that requires you to put the least amount of makeup on, isn't it?
The nose takes a while. Yeah. There's a nose. But yeah, no, I love playing that.
Yeah, probably Stupid Death. I feel like I know him. No, I kind of can't possibly know him. But yeah, no, I just love playing. And as I say, we do it on the last day, and I get to sort of sit at the table and watch these lot coming in. Absolutely, their minds frazzled from 6 weeks of filming, and it's usually quite a fun day. So yes.
And mine is probably Bob Hale. It's just that I have a very strange relationship with him in that they're almost impossible to do, and before you even start, you've got to spend 3 hours in makeup, and it kind of like. I get to when I'm actually doing it, I'm not sure that I'm enjoying it. I get to the end of it and I have this feeling of incredible elation. Oh God, thank God! And then Steve, our director, goes, well, you've got to do another 5 of those yet, Larry. And a little bit of me dies. But I get to the end of the day and there's something I'm very proud of. And again, thanks hugely to the work of Platform, who put in everything they do with all of the posts. Put in 5 jokes that I don't say, but again, I get the credit.
And I was the char-faced lady in the Stupid Death titles. I mean, just putting that out.
You made it for me.
I have to ask, somebody here on the front row has got a canvas next. I just need to know what the canvas is. Because
it's amazing.
What is it? Show us. Can come in the front and show us up. No, go on, please, go on.
It's fantastic.
How about that?
Big thank you everybody at Citrus TV, Line TV, the BBC. Big thank you to Claire Rainford, Claire Briscoe, Joe Godwin, and of course to Caroline Norris, Larry Rickard, Simon Farnaby, Martha Howe-Douglas, Jim Howick and Matt Bainton.